Today on the channel, the best of 2025 top 10 lists continue, and in today's video, I'm counting down my top 10 female wrestling figures of 2025.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another best of 2025 countdown. In today's video, we're counting down my top 10 female wrestling figures of 2025. A yearly tradition here on this channel, all the countdowns are, but previous years we've done top 5 female wrestling figures. This year, moving it to 10 as we did get more female figures this year, and I think we're going to see more and more female figures as the years go on, not just from the WWE Mattel team, but also the AEW Jazzwares team, and maybe all points in between. We'll see what happens in 2026. But 2025, a banner year for female wrestling figures, and dare I say, some of the female figures were better than a lot of the male counterparts, as we're getting more to equality, maybe. Not quite, but we're getting there. We're getting there, as female figures always not as represented as the male figures, as we do know. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to business, hat, and what's going to sell. Follow the money, as Jesse Ventura always says, but follow the money to the top 10 list here today. We're going to do this list like we do all the other lists on the channel. We're going to start at number 10, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my absolute favorite female figure of 2025. And as usual, I hate that I have to say it, but I always do. This is my list. So guess what? 100% correct. Your list, though, can be 100% correct, too. Put it in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's kick it off. Number 10. All right, we begin the countdown at number 10, and longtime viewers of the channel know I always put my list together. I keep a running list throughout the year of stuff that really caught my eye, some of the top figures, and then I go from there. I put my top 10 list together. I decide on it, I sleep on it a couple of days. Things move around, things shuffle. In a week, 2 weeks, what is time later, I come to my final list. But this is one of those lists that all the way to the moment of filming, I'm moving stuff around a little bit. Especially at the number 10 selection, I could not decide between 10 and 11, so we're going to have a tie at number 10 right here, and that's always difficult, but I couldn't break the tie. But I'll always say, you ask me 6 months from now, you never know. These lists could change as things grow on you or maybe grow against you, whatever it may be. But we're going to kick it off at number 10, and we're going to go to AEW Jazzwares. We're going to go Unrivaled 17. Willow Nightingale. And Willow, 2 figures this year when you count her Chase edition. I have that as well in the collection. But when I think of Willow, I think of more of the bright colors, the bubbly personality. And I like that Jazzwares step out of the norm to make a bigger sized female figure. We've seen it with Nia Jakks over there at Mattel. Now we see it with Willow over at AEW. Big fan of how they did this one. It's a good looking figure to boot. Feels different than a lot of the other females from Jazzwares. Just a really good figure. She's going to be a tie for number 10 with another figure at number 10 here. Coming to us from Mattel this time, from Elite 120, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a weird one because this one figure is amazing with the head sculpt, but thankfully, or maybe not thankfully, but it did come with 2 head sculpts. One amazing head sculpt, one a terrible head sculpt. Very strange to me. But who is it? It is Lola Vice, of course. AAA NXT standout Lola Vice. You get Pretty Girl Dancing at the Club Lola Vice. You get Cage Fighter Lola Vice. A 2-in-1 figure, and it is unfortunate this wasn't the Chase edition from Elite 120, as they could have made different gear, and then you could have had the different heads. It would have really felt like a different figure, but a figure I wanted to buy 2 of because it really is both versions of her personality and how she's wrestled over the last year on NXT especially. I just really like this head sculpt here with the long hair down a whole lot better than this one, but to have that option I think is really cool. So I could not decide between these 2, so they're going to share a tie at number 10. Continue the countdown at number 9. In the number 9 selection, we go to Mattel Creations / Ringside Collectibles for an Ultimate exclusive. This one, very frustrating for a lot of collectors, and maybe that's part of the reason it's not all the way up at the top of the list for me. But coming in at number 9 is the Raw Ring Edition, Rhea Ripley. And unfortunately for Rhea Ripley, she's always a step behind in her looks in the action figure department. It's very difficult to get Rhea because she changes her looks so much. So when this came out, this wasn't quite the Rhea we were wanting in ultimate form. However, it is not bad. You could easily do some head swapping, as we do know. It's nice to get a Rhea ultimate. We know there's going to be a lot more ultimates in the future for Rhea Ripley. An all-around good figure, but also frustrating because it is tied against that ring. A lot of people have no use for a ring, don't want any more rings in their collection. So it felt like a little bit of a money-hungry play maybe for the Mattel brand to put a very much wanted figure behind the ring. I see what they're doing. They're putting their business hat on, but sometimes your business hat goes the opposite way. And I think it did end up hurting this Rhea Ripley as far as a lot of the fan base's eyes, I do think. But still a pretty good figure. Comes in at number 9 in the top 10 year-end list. Down rolls on at the number 8 selection. This time we go back to the AEW Jazzwares line for unmatched Series 11, Sky Blue. Sky Blue's first ever action figure, and she's been on AEW TV pretty consistently this year. An amazing looking figure, a lot of detail, a lot of fun with this figure as well. Pair her with the House of Black, pair her with Julia Hart, choose your own Sky Blue adventure. One thing about this figure, though, it had started off strong as this came out very early in 2025, as this was higher up. But as we went throughout the year, there were some better figures that came out. But still, a very fun figure here, a very good figure. Her rookie figure, after all, Sky Blue comes in number 8. We carry on the countdown to the number 7 selection. Number 7, a little deja vu. We go back to Jazzwares. We go to AEW. We go to the 1 of 3,000 Shop AEW exclusive Mercedes Moné. And the devil is in the details, as one may say, as we did get another Mercedes, basically the same figure, but this one has all the extras. It came with an extra coat. It came with a big fur coat over the top. Now, I talked about it in my AEW countdown on the channel. Check it out, top 10 figures of the year. I used that coat jacket that came with this one on the other Mercedes figure to dress that one up a little bit, and I left the fur coat on this one. But you get glasses, you get the paint, you get the beautiful fur coat. You know me, I'm a sucker for a fur coat. Just a very, very good Mercedes Moné figure. Be interested to see what Mercedes figures we get in the future from Jazzwares as we dive into 2026. But this is a pretty fun one, a very deluxe one, and it comes in at number 7. Getting closer to the middle spot of the countdown, we're at number 6. And number 6, we go to WWE Mattel. We go to the main event line. We go to an old friend. We go to the Chase Edition. Wendy Choo, number 159 to be exact as far as the main event numbering. This is the Chase Edition. Now, the regular edition is the more sinister, dark Wendy Choo. You may see her on this list to come. But very cool. Wendy Choo, not a household name. First time in the line, last time in the line. We'll see what happens. But I love the attention to details with this one. This Wendy Choo, beautiful hairdo on here. Totally different. Pajamas. And then you got the cow slippers, I guess we'll call them slippers. Just very cool to get her in her pajama gear. Just a very nice looking figure and a figure that stood out throughout the year. Just an amazing example of what the main event line can do and what it can be. I hope to see more things like this in 2026. Wendy Choo, Chase Edition, comes in number 6. Halfway point in the countdown, we're at the number 5 selection. You got your list together. Put it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to both my YouTube channels. If you like year-end best of countdowns from somebody that's unboxed them all, check out the countdowns on the channel as we close out 2025 and look to 2026. But we got the number 5 selection here, and this could be the sleeper figure of the top 10 list, as I didn't expect this figure this year. I didn't expect this figure when it was announced to be as good as it is. It could be another first time, last time in the line. We'll see what happens. But coming in at number 5 is the Mattel Creations exclusive Ultimate Brandy Rhodes. Shocker to get Brandy in the Elite line, or I guess I should say Ultimate line in this instance here. Now, we got Jazzwares figures once upon a time, but she really hasn't been on WWE TV, but there was just a couple of magical moments, and that's all it took to get a Cody 2-pack. Pretty darn cool to get Cody, his wife, and his dog. Can we get Cody's kids, Todd McFarlane? Why am I asking Todd McFarlane? He doesn't work for Mattel. But we'll see what the future holds in 2026. I doubt that's going to happen. And I'm not sure if we're going to get any more Brandy Rhodes, but it looks like they got the head sculpts if they need to reuse them down the line. Pretty darn cool, pretty fun, soft goods, good looking figure all around. Brandy Rhodes comes in number 5. Next up on the countdown, number 4. And number 4, we've seen this performer already in the countdown, but this time we're getting the regular edition. We're going to main event series 159 for the dark edition. Wendy Choo, pretty darn cool to get the yin and yang of Wendy Choo once upon a time in NXT. The bad girl version here is the regular edition. And I got to say, feels like the regular and the chase are both chases at this point, as this figure been pretty hard to track down for a lot of people. But just like the last one, the devil's in the details, and I love that we got different slippers, different colors, different makeup across the board. It really feels like a totally different figure, and that's how these chases should be from the Mattel line and all lines, if you ask me. Just a very, very good figure. Dare I say, almost a sleeper. Maybe not as sleeper as Brandy Rhodes, but pretty darn close. Wendy Choo regular edition 159 comes in number 4. We're down to the final 3 of the final 3 female figures of 2025 in the top 10 best of countdown. And number 3 was an early one this year, one of the first female figures we unboxed on the channel. And that's the bad thing about best of lists. A lot of times you get some recency bias, and some of the figures that came out early in the year kind of get forgotten about. A little bit of their mystery has worn off a little bit as it goes. But this one stuck with me all year long and landed at the number 3 spot. We're going all the way back to Mattel Elite Series 115. We're going to the Pirate Princess. We're going to Kairi Sane, who really has never had a bad figure. Quite the performer with one of the best elbow drops of all time. And her figures, like I said, never disappoint. You get the umbrella, you get the face paint, you get the color in the hair. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot to like about this figure. Can't wait to see more Kairi Sanes in the future. Our next one, I believe, is in the main event line. So we'll pick that up probably early January 2026. But this one, all the way back to early January for 115, comes in at number 3. Getting closer and closer to the top spot, we're the number 2 female wrestling figure of 2025. And of course, my list, put your list in the comments below. But this one we recently unboxed on the channel, and we'll get to it. But there was one thing that held this back from the top spot, but it was a strong, strong number 2. Where do we go? We go to WWE. We go to the Mattel Ultimate Edition series. Number 2 selection, Ultimate Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton. So we get a new articulation with this figure that we'll see in the future. That is pretty darn cool. You get an amazing head sculpt of Tiffany Stratton, which I have on the figure right now. However, her second head sculpt, woof, a pretty rough head sculpt. So if she would have had really good head sculpts across the board, this could have possibly taken the number 1 spot for me. But that being said, very, very good. I like the new articulation. I like the new body style, especially Tiffany's new body style compared to her last figures. She's got 2 Golden Globes ready to go in this figure, and I don't think we've ever had a more pronounced figure in the Mattel line. Jakks, yeah, sure. I think we had a few in Jakks over the years, but Mattel for sure, the most chesty figure I think we've ever had from the Mattel brand. But an amazing head sculpt on this one. It's too bad that second head not quite as good. Is what it is, but still an amazing figure, still a must-own figure. Tiffany Stratton comes in at number 2. Here we are, we're at the top spot, the number 1 female figure of 2025 as voted by me. Put your list together, put it in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for all the countdowns, all the unboxings, you name it, and check out my other YouTube channel while you're at it. Got videos every single day over there as well. But who took the top spot? We almost bookended this countdown with this performer, as one was a little bit less than, but this one played all the hits, as a wise man once said. We go to Mattel Elite 117 for Rhea Ripley. Yes, Rhea Ripley taking the top spot in the Elite Forum this year. I talked about it earlier, how it always felt like we were a step behind with Rhea Ripley figures from how she looked. This was a figure we finally caught up, and it felt like the Rhea Ripley we were currently seeing on TV. And it is a good figure. It's a great representation. I would love to see this improved upon in 2026. And as I said, we got a lot more Rhea Ripley figures coming. One of the top performers in the WWE. You know they're going to milk it for all it's worth. And this is the best Rhea Ripley figure of all time in my book. At least as of now, constant learning, constant improvement could be in action with her in the future. As, like I said, we got a lot more to come. But 117 is my favorite female figure of 2025. One last time, put your list in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video always helps the channel. Don't forget Patreon, YouTube channel memberships for early access to these videos and a whole lot more content. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show. Available every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found. So the top 10 female wrestling figures of 2025. I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
I'm solid gold.